All right, I think we got everything set here. Make sure y'all can see the angle. All right. All right, there we go. It is 4:30 p.m. I go ahead and get this started here, y'all. All right. Welcome everybody. Coach Luis here, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk. If you guys are joining me here today, that means it is time for abs and core on this Tuesday afternoon/evening. I'm super looking forward to this class every single week now because we can always find a great way to take care of the midsection of our body, take care of our spine for the long haul. Super important stuff, you guys. All right, so let me go ahead and get into explaining what we're going to be doing for the workout today, guys. So similar to last week's workout, we're going to break it up a little bit, kind of put some movements together. We have 3 different parts, but we're only really going to be doing 6 different movements. So I'm going to start by giving out the examples here. What we're going to start with is the primal press on the ground here, you guys. So hands under the shoulders, knees under those hips. We got the toes under the feet. We're going to push down through the hands and the toes. The knees are about an inch or 2 up off the ground. The core is tight here. This is going to be a great movement or kind of a position that we're in for the legs and the core, keeping it really tight. Back is super flat the entire time. We're just hanging out in that position. Next up, we're going to be doing some traditional crunches. Now, as we do these, you guys, the knees are bent, the feet are staying as glued to the ground as possible. We're not using our arms to pull the upper body up. We're just trying to use those midsection muscles, pulling as much upper back up off the ground as possible. It's also helpful to think of something like a water balloon under the low back. Every time we come up and use that core, we're trying to crush that water balloon under our low back. So those are our crunches. Next up is going to be our flutter kicks. So we're on our backs, legs are nice and straight at an angle in which you can still maintain contact to that lower back in the ground, going back and forth here, trying to create some force vectors, making that core work really, really hard. Now, if it's really hard for you to keep the low back connected, take little breaks and have those legs up a little bit higher. That's going to help us out there. All right, you guys, so that is what's going to make up our first part. In that first part, we're going to do those 3 movements, 2 rounds through, and then we're going to move on to our second part. So second part is going to start with plank and hip extension. Now we have a couple options here. You can be hands under the shoulders or elbows under the shoulders to support. Either way, the core is really tight, the back is flat. We're going to take turns extending the hip, so essentially squeezing one side of the glute, bringing that heel up towards the ceiling, keeping it nice and even through the hips though. As we pull that heel up, we don't want to feel a ton of twisting side to side. That's where the core comes in. We got to keep it nice and stable the entire time. Also push down with that opposite leg, that support leg, as we go along. All right, and finally, or secondly, after that, we're doing some heel taps. So this is usually part of our warm-up. The core is really tight, gluing our low back to the ground. Each heel is going to tap down individually, just one hip moving at a time here, you guys. Remember, someone's trying to pull a towel out from under the low back. Don't let that happen. Keep it sealed using that core. We're moving just from the hips. And finally, for the last movement of part 2, we're going to be doing some arm flutters. So those legs are going to come and get glued into this 99 position. The arms are going to go up overhead, palms up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to wiggle those arms back and forth here, trying to create some force using the core to stabilize the rest of the body here. So that is our final thing for part 2. Now for part 3, we're going to be doing part 1 over again. So what I'm going to do here real quick, guys, is drop what that looks like in the chat here. There we go. So if you guys are curious as we go along what that looks like, we're going to do part 1, the primal press, the crunches, the flutter kicks for 2 rounds. Part 2, which is the plank, the heel taps and the arm flutters for 2 rounds. And then we're going to go back and do part 1 for 2 rounds again. It's going to give us about 18 minutes of work. I'm going to go ahead and get into our warm up now. Got to warm up, got to make sure we are ready to go for this workout. All we're gonna really need, guys, today is some space on the ground. And don't forget that water. Have that water nearby. As we need to take breaks as we go, it's always good to have some water replace that fluid that we lose as we work out. All right, you guys, so for the warm-up here today, we're actually gonna start in standing, and we're gonna start with some inchworms. So let's make sure we have some space out in front of us. What we're gonna do is push those hips back like we're trying to touch a wall behind us. Let those arms and upper body hang down towards the ground for a second. Don't worry if you can't touch the ground. Go ahead and bend those knees so we can get the hands onto the ground here. Next up, we're gonna walk those arms all the way out until those hands are under the shoulders and we're in a nice plank position here. Take a breath. Nice strong exhale is gonna help us find that core. Next up, we're gonna push that tail up towards the ceiling and start to walk those feet in towards the hands. Now bend the knees as needed. As soon as we get to that position where the feet are as close to the hands as possible, we can bend those knees, straighten it all the way up. We're gonna do one more going in the opposite direction. Take a moment, let's reset. We're gonna do that same thing, pushing the hips back, trying to touch an imaginary wall behind us. Bend those knees to get the hands on the ground, and then we're walking ourselves out into that high plank position. Just supporting ourselves here for a sec. Great warm up for some of that plank work that we're going to be doing later in this workout. Next, we're pushing the tail up. We're trying to walk those feet in as close as you can. Do the best you can, you guys. Bend those knees if you have to. Then we're going to straighten all the way up finally. Whew. Calves and hamstrings are feeling tight today, I can tell. All right, you guys, let's come down to the ground. We're going to be on our backs, second part of our warm up here. We are going to be doing some heel taps. One of my favorite ways to warm up. I'm going to be doing this in the workout later on as well, but this is going to transfer over into a number of things, the arms and the leg flutters, the crunches, etc. Let's go ahead and get that core nice and solid. We're gluing our low back to the ground here. Legs are up, bent at the knees. We're just trying to move from the hips here. So one heel is going to tap on the ground. The knee bend doesn't change. It's just that hip movement. Not letting any gap or anything get in between our low back and that ground. Breathe as we go. One more each side. Last one here. Well done, you guys. Control those legs back to the ground. Let's relax. Take a deep breath or two. Good work, guys. Good work. Make sure your space is set up, ready to go here. What I'm going to do is get the timer set up and we will go ahead and get into this workout. All right, you guys, like I said before, the workout is in the chat. So if you are curious about what is coming up next, you can always check on the chat just to see where we are at. 2 rounds of each section. Oh, and one more thing that's probably important that I mentioned is that we're going to be working on 45-15 intervals. So 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. Each interval that is not going to change throughout the workout. All right, you guys, let's get ready to go. We're ready to start on our hands and knees for the primal press. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are on the clock and we are going. All right. So again, supporting ourselves through the palms of our hands and those toes. Trying to keep that back nice and flat. We're in a staring contest with the ground here. Good job, you guys. Good job. This one's definitely tough, almost as much of a mental exercise as it is a physical one. A lot of muscles involved here. Do the best you guys can, but it's all good to take little breaks here and there. We got about 10 seconds left. Let's keep staring at that ground. See who blinks first. Excellent work, guys, and time. Rest those knees. Good job, everyone. All right. For the rest of this first round, we're going to be on our backs. We got the crunches and then the flutter kicks. Here we go with those crunches, guys. 3, 2, 1. And we're up, trying to peel as much back up as we can. Make sure to have that upper shoulder area and head come all the way down to the ground before you start that next rep. Big squeeze in that midsection here, guys. Excellent work. Take a little rest as needed. Remember, with this kind of thing, we're just trying to string together a few quality reps, not so much worried about how many we can do. Plus, this is something that we're going to be doing a lot of in this workout. Don't go for broke on this first round. And time. Good job, you guys. All right, time to rest. We can lay here on our backs. Next up, we have those flutter kicks. So the low back is getting glued to the ground. The legs are as straight as can be, kind of fluttering back and forth. We're going in 3, 2, 1. All right. Pretend someone's got that towel in between your low back and the ground. Don't let them get that towel if they're trying to pull on it. Do the best you guys can. Staring contest with the ceiling now. Trying to breathe throughout. I know this is a tough one, so take a little break if you need it. Reset that good posture. Legs are nice and straight. Excellent work, you guys. We got about 10 seconds left. Let's keep fluttering those legs. Good job, you guys. And time. Good work, you guys. Okay, we are back to the top. Primal press, crunches, and flutter kicks one more time before we move on to part 2. Got a few seconds to grab a drink. Let's get into that hands and knees position. All right, here we go with that primal press. It's okay if we take a second or two to find that really good starting position. We're using those shoulders to push away from the ground, but not so much that we round the back. We still want to keep that back flat. Pretend like we got a plate of the favorite food in that mid back. Can't be doing any twisting or bending. That plate's going to go tumbling off. Good work, everybody. Good work. Getting better and better at this one every time we do it. Even if it's going for a little bit longer than last time, it's okay if we're not going the entire time. At least we're trying the entire time. Speaking of, that time is coming to an end. There we go. Rest, you guys. Good job. All right. One more time through the crunches and the flutter kicks before we move on to a couple rounds of something different. Let's prepare. Here we go with the crunches. 3, 2, 1. Good job, guys. Good job. I know it's tough to keep those feet down. If you have something around that can pin those feet, that'll typically help. That'll lead to us pulling up with those feet. But right now, we're trying to train ourselves to not do that. Using just those core muscles, doesn't matter how high up we're getting, just pulling as much upper back off the ground as we can. Don't use those arms. Don't pull on that head or neck. Great work so far, you guys. Few seconds left. And time. Good job, you guys. Good job. Okay, flutter kicks coming up next. We can stay on our back here. Couple deep breaths. It's almost time to go again. 3, 2, 1. First, let's find that core. Then we can bring the legs up, keep that low back glued, find a good angle, flutter kick those legs. Remember, strong exhales are gonna help us keep that tension through the midsection, but we also gotta inhale. Definitely a tough position to be in here, guys. Take little breaks as needed. Remember, we have 2 rounds of this. Same thing on the back end. Don't go for broke. We're learning to pace just as much as we're building strength here. Almost done, and time. Good job, you guys. Give yourselves a little rest. Okay, coming up is our plank with hip extension. Remember, we can be on the hands or the elbows here. All that matters is we're squeezing those glutes one at a time, raising those heels up towards the ceiling. All right, here we go. Let's get into it. I'm down here on my elbows. Find that good plank position first. Back's nice and flat. Then we can squeeze one side, drive that heel directly upwards. Excellent work, you guys. Don't get too enamored with that hip movement. Make sure that core is still really tight. We're only really going to be able to take the heel just to up a little bit, as long as that core is still really tight, keeping our back in a nice solid position. As you guys can see, the flatness of my back is not changing as those hips go. Great work, guys. We are almost done. Couple more seconds and time. Excellent work, you guys. Excellent work. Only got to do that one more time in this workout. All right, next up, we're on our back for the heel taps, just like the warm-up, except we're doing as many quality reps as possible. 3, 2, 1. First, let's get those legs up 90 degrees at the knees. Towel is under the low back. Don't let anyone get that towel. They're pulling on it. Then we can start to move again, just like the other one. One hip at a time. Good job, guys. Good job. Good work, you guys. This one gets really tough if you're doing like 10 or 15 plus. We're really looking to feel it in that navel area around the belly button. 10 more seconds. Excellent job, you guys. Excellent job. We're getting there. And time. Oh man, that one was tough. Okay, arm flutters up next. We're gonna stay in that same starting position, except those hands are gonna be up, going back and forth, palms to the ceiling, starting in 3, 2, 1. All right, same deal. Let's get that core set. Then we can start going with our arms here, fluttering them back and forth, trying to wiggle through the upper body, forcing the core to stabilize the lower body. Good job, you guys. Good job. Put some force into those arm flutters, you guys. We're getting the shoulders involved. Great work, everybody. Rest, take a deep breath if you need to, maybe 2, 3 max, and then we're right back into it. We got less than 10 seconds left. Don't let anyone get your towel there under your low back. And time. Good job, you guys. Good job. Okay, we got one more round of that, then we're going back to what we were doing at the top. So plank with the hip extension coming up next. Let's get ready. It's either hands or elbows what we're on. 3, 2, 1. All right, find that good plank position. The core is tight. Then we can begin to use those glutes. Good job, you guys. Remember, plate of food on the back. No twisting is going to allow us to keep that plate nice and secure in the middle of our back. Good job. Good job. Everyone's killing it. Great work, you guys. Keep it nice and solid through that midsection. If you feel the form breaking down at all, take a little break, give yourself some rest, come back with more quality reps. And time. Excellent job, you guys. Excellent work. Okay, heel taps and the arm flutters. Last time we're gonna have to do these 2 things. We're on our back. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's get those legs up. Arms can relax. Tapping one heel on the ground at a time. Keeping it really tight through that midsection though, guys. If I was there, I'd be trying to pull a towel out from under that low back. Cannot let me get that towel. Good job, you guys. Just moving from the hips here. Just kissing the ground with our heels. Coming up, don't let that leg rest on the ground too long. If you need to, take a little break. We're almost done though. We got less than 10 seconds. Man, this one's starting to burn. Forgot how much this one burned. And time. Good job, you guys. Good job. We can let those legs rest. Let that midsection rest for a short time. Arm flutters are coming up next. Last time we got to do it. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you guys. Keep going. Good job, you guys. Keep going with those arm flutters. We're down in this position. We're going. Good work, everybody. Good work. Keep that core nice and tight. Remember, same deal, like someone was trying to pull a towel or your mat out from under you. You're trying to pin it between yourself and the ground. Use that core, crush what's under you. Last time we got to do this one, few seconds left. Flutter those arms like you mean it. And relax, time to rest, you guys, good job. All right, next we're going back to our primal press, our crunches, and our flutter kicks. 2 more rounds, then we're out of here. Let's make them count. Let's make them look better than that first round. Here we go. Primal press, hands under the shoulders, knees under those hips. Pushing down through the toes. Back is nice and flat. We got a plate of our favorite food back there. We're nice and secure through those shoulders. Pushing away from the ground, but not so much that it rounds our back. Don't want to sink towards the ground. We want those shoulders to be nice and active. Good work, you guys, good work. I know those quads are feeling it as well. Bear with me here. We got less than 10 seconds. We're doing great. Second to last time we got to do this one. Let's stay nice and strong. And time. Rest those knees. Good job, everybody. Okay, crunches up next. Let's see where our crunch is at after a majority of this workout has now been done. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Good job, you guys. Core is definitely probably feeling a little fatigued, and that's all right. We're just trying to string together a few quality reps at a time. Just really focus on the quality with these. Peeling up as much back as we can. I like to think about creating as many ripples in my midsection as possible with this one. Good work, you guys. Doing great. About 15 seconds left. Almost done, you guys. Few left. Couple more reps. And time. I lied. There was only time for 1 more rep. All right. We're back to flutter kicks. Second to last time here. Let's take a breath. Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1. Legs straight out. Going back and forth. Nice little flutter kicks here. Don't let anything show between your back and the ground here. Crush that ground. Good job, you guys. Taking more rests is okay. When we're moving, we want that quality to be nice and high, just like our first round. Keep those legs straight. There we go. Almost there, you guys. Less than 10 seconds. Stay with me. Strong exhales. Here we are. And time. Woo! It's a real burn in my midsection right now. We got the primal press. Last time we're going to go through it. Final 3 minutes here, you guys. Let's make it look pretty. Here we go. We're going with our primal press in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Find that good position. Let's see how long we can stay. And we're staring contest with the ground. Test to see who blinks first. Good work, guys. Good work. Focus elsewhere. Don't necessarily have to focus on the discomfort. Let's try and stay still like a rock, guys. Less than 10 seconds. I know you're still with me. Stay with me. And time. I don't know why, but that one felt like the shortest one yet. All right, let's keep it going. Crunches and leg flutters to finish it off. It's going to be a walk in the park. We're going to get going with our crunches here in 3, 2, 1. Here we go, you guys. Remember, we're keeping those feet nice and attached to the ground if we can. Not really using our arms in any way to help us, pulling on the upper body. Just using that midsection. Even if you're just going 3 at a time like me, Good job, guys. We really just want to feel that front midsection here. Great work, everybody. Great work. Getting close to being done here. And time. Excellent job, you guys. Okay, final challenge is going to be our flutter kicks for 45 seconds. This is the final thing we're doing. We're going to cool down. We'll get out of here. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Legs nice and straight. There we go. Board's really tight. Nothing coming between our back and the ground here. Excellent job. Pretend like we're pedaling. Final leg, Tour de France. Making those legs go. Good job, you guys. You're breathing hard. Final 10 seconds. Show me what you got here. And time. Oh man, that one was tough at the end there. Great work, you guys. Okay, it's time to rest. It's time to stop for a moment. Let's breathe. Let's give that midsection area some relaxation. A couple deep breaths. Do what you need to do right now, guys. Stand up, walk it off. Grab some water. I know I'm thankful I put the ceiling fan on for this one because it is warm in here. All right, you guys. So let's cool down. Let's get out of here. What we're going to start with is the Cobra, one of my favorites to do after this class, especially after some crunches. So let's make our way down to the ground. Let's find a space where we can lay all the way down on our stomachs. And as you guys probably well know, we're trying to stay pretty relaxed from the waist down, and we want to keep the front of that pelvis attached to the ground here. So hands up near the head. We're going to push ourselves up a little bit, bring the elbows under the shoulders so we can just rest in this position. If you can, let's try and pull that head up. Let's take some nice deep breaths into the front of that midsection. All those muscles are now being lengthened out. Breathing into them is going to help them relax. Good job, you guys. Good job. Let's do a couple more breaths here. Try and look it straight if you can, if it's comfortable for the neck and the spine. That's usually a really common key. Staying comfortable. If it hurts, it does not mean it's good. Last breath. Here we go. Good job, you guys. After that exhale, we can slowly bring those elbows out, let ourselves come all the way down. Rest that head on the ground for a second if you can. Make sure everything came back into place structurally within that spine. From here, we can push ourselves up. And let's find a nice half kneeling position. Half kneeling position is going to be great for our hip flexor stretch. And we just ended with those flutter kicks using these muscles a lot. So I got my left knee on the ground. I'm going to start by squeezing my left glute. Belly button pulled in towards the spine. And we can push the hips forward a little bit. For me, it's not going to take a lot to find that tension. Keep that glute squeezed. We're going to breathe into the front of that hip. Good. There we go. One more deep breath will do it. Good. All right, we can release that tension in the glute. Let's switch it over to the other side. So right knee is down. We'll check in with that glute, big glute squeeze. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. We can start to push the hips forward a little bit. Again, we're just looking for medium tension. Let's breathe into the front of that hip. Good work today, guys. Good work. Really tested the core in a few different ways today. Everyone's getting better. I love it. Final breath coming up. after that last exo, you guys can go ahead and relax. Feel free to stay stretching, go through a couple rounds of the Cobra and the hip flexor if that feels good. Definitely would be something I recommend. First off, I want to thank everyone who joined me today. Always enjoy this class, always a good time, always a great way to end a Tuesday. And if you aren't already aware, we do have a new application readily available to everyone. It's called Exos Fit. So head to the App Store, whether it's iOS or Android, type in Exos Fit and you'll be able to find an app that connects you to your coach, live classes, group exercise, the whole 9 yards. Super awesome platform. Check it out. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Take care, and I will catch you guys in the next class. See you guys.
Thanks,
Good job,
Luis.
Ben.